So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this interview with the St Vincent de Paul Society, either on the Well of Hope or on YouTube. And I am delighted today to be joined even by the lovely Ellie Meehan, who is a paramedic. It's lovely to have you with us, Ellie. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome. Hello.
Oh, brilliant. So, actually, we'll just get straight to it, shall we? So, Ellie, how are things? How are things in your life?
So I am a paramedic in London, southeast London to be precise. Currently working out of Bromley. So it's it's sort of an intense shift pattern. Like they're long days, but then you do get quite a few days off to kind of recharge after a set of shifts. So it's going okay. It's just quite different to kind of normal working life in terms of like the jobs that we're going to and the patients that we're seeing and obviously what they're presenting with.
Brilliant. But were you still able to switch off at the end of the day and get some rest and get some downtime?
Yes, I'm quite fortunate. I live with my family still at the minute, so it's not like I'm going home to a kind of empty house or flat or whatever where I've kind of left with my thoughts. I go home and I'm just kind of shoved into family life where I guess you just talk about what everyone else has done during their lockdown day. So I don't really dwell on what I've been doing at work, which helps.
It's brilliant. So it's almost as though, I mean, although I guess for most of us we're in complete isolation almost. We're quite lucky, I guess, in being not quite so isolated, which I suppose is good. Also, yeah. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, a bit about your background. Why did you become a paramedic, or just tell us whatever you want to tell us. Just tell us whatever you want to tell us.
Okay, so I was brought up in a Catholic family. We've always gone to church, went to a Catholic school. So I guess religion and has always been a part of my life, and obviously you're taught to help people love one another, etc. So that's just kind of always something I've done. In terms of becoming a paramedic, well, I could never see myself in an office job. And I used to want to join the police, but I kind of decided against that. And so I became a paramedic, and I wouldn't go back now. I do really love my job, even though that sounds weird because you're dealing with ill people. I guess being able to help them and be there for them in their time of need is comforting to an extent.
Yeah, I think I suppose I've found this in some of the other things that I've done. It is a great privilege to be there at a moment which is fairly critical in someone's life, even if you are providing a service. Say just your presence in those moments is exceptionally important, and is as I say a great privilege. So it's one of our wonderful professions, which probably is neglected a little bit, I think. But yeah, good stuff. So how about so you're saying normal this crisis that we're having. So what is this? What impact is this crisis actually having on you at the moment, both personally and professionally?
So I feel like myself and all other paramedics and just healthcare in general, it's quite a weird working life at the minute. Like before COVID became a thing, day in, day out, we would be kind of busy for the whole shift. You'd do one job, you'd go available, and within kind of 10 seconds, you'd be sent on your next job. And it could kind of be chest pain, breathing problems, abdo pain, nothing, an array of things. But now it just seems that every job you go to is a breathing problems, like difficulty in breathing, shortness of breath. And there's a likelihood that it could quite easily be COVID. But the volume of calls has just massively decreased. Like, I don't know whether that's because the public don't want to go to hospital or they've realised that the true meaning of an emergency, and so the service isn't under as much pressure currently, where like obviously there's been a drop in the number of people being diagnosed with COVID at the minute, but that is expected to get worse. And kind of at the beginning of the crisis, it was ridiculous. There'd be like 30 calls holding in like every single sector of the ambulance service, and so kind of across London there'd be hundreds of people waiting hours potentially for an ambulance to get there, which when you're meant to be providing life-saving treatment isn't great. But at the minute it has got a lot better. So I guess in terms of stress, I don't necessarily feel stressed at the minute, because we're having less calls than we would on an average day. It's just a different type of call.
Interesting. That's an interesting thought, actually. So it's almost less calls, but as to the reasons for that, I guess, I suppose people don't want to go into hospital as much as they used to. They probably want to stay away from you, don't they?
Yeah.
But no, that's interesting. But almost everything is COVID related.
Yeah, like there's still like injuries. Like I went to a couple of people who just slipped over in the garden and had broken this or that. Like obviously accidents are always going to happen, but there's not nearly as much as what we would call regular call, which would be like chest pain. As at the minute it's more a lot of breathing problems and shortness of breath related calls, as opposed to like chest pains and other things.
Oh, very interesting. That's an interesting insight there. So from all the work that you're doing and everything everything that is going on, what would you say the SVP, the St Vincent de Paul Society, could do or could continue doing to support those that are affected by COVID or their families even? Is there anything you would say that you've seen or that you would advise?
I think possibly like just carrying on or starting like a platform in which healthcare professionals can kind of talk to one another. Obviously at work we have that, like we are able to obviously talk to each other, but it's kind of more on a professional basis. Whereas if you were to provide that service, it would be engaging with people who have kind of that same kind of Catholic background, spiritual background, to talk about things from a different point of view, and also to provide a service for like patients and their families, like where we're wearing PPE all of the time. I feel like we're not speaking to patients on such a personal level. It's very hard to like kind of form any sort of relationship with them while you're stood there in masks and aprons and they can't really see your full face to like read your questions, just to kind of have any sort of connection with them. It feels just very impersonal while you're treating patients. And that once we then leave, yes, we might have reassured them that they don't need to go to hospital, but I don't feel like we've connected with them as you'd be able to then speak to them on a personal level with like about how are you feeling, how are you coping, they're okay, and that they've got the medical reassurance that they needed.
Spot on. I think we lost you for a second there, Eddie. So I'll just recap what I thought you said. So so because of all the PPE, things are feeling a little bit sort of not inhuman, but impersonal, I guess. And so a way of helping people, maybe by telephoning, that offers a bit more of a, well, I guess get that human approach. To sort of guide them through what happens afterwards, because then I guess you're right. You're so busy, especially in hospitals, people are so busy that actually it probably would be hard to do that extra little bit. Have a little bit more of a 5-minute talk, rather than it's literally just going to be they get what they need and then you get out of there. Partly because they're very ill, and you don't want to catch that, but also because you're wearing all this stuff. So maybe something, I guess some sort of helpline or support would be. I suppose that's a very good point. It's very interesting. Wonderful. So we'll finish with just that with one last little bit. So I was going to ask, is there a message that you would give to the people out there who are perhaps starting to lose hope, to the people that this is starting to overwhelm a little bit, to the people that are worrying about catching and developing things, or just worrying about life in general? Is there any advice that you would give, maybe that you've seen or that you found or that you're using yourself?
So I think the news is a wonderful thing in the sense that it keeps people updated, but it is also only one viewpoint. It obviously focuses on the number of people that have sadly passed away, and the number of people that are in critical care. However, there are lots and lots and lots of people who, yes, have COVID and yes, are unwell, but they are managing their symptoms at home like you would with kind of any other illness. Like, there are different severities of COVID, like there is many other illnesses, and that obviously I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but that if you do get it, that doesn't mean that it's going to be the end. Like, lots of people are surviving and lots of people are only having very mild symptoms, that I think just kind of look past the news, that they focus on the worst areas of the illness, and that's not for everyone. But that equally, yes, lockdown isn't great, and obviously if you live on your own and your family or your friends don't live nearby, it must be awful. You must feel very lonely. But equally, in every situation, good does come out of it. Like, personally, I do talk to my friends that don't live nearby, but I would never have thought of video calling them before, and now we video call weekly. Kind of, you just check in on people, like, how are you, as opposed to messaging somebody out of trying to arrange this or that. Like, you just message someone on a general basis to see how they're doing. So I feel like it's making people connect with their friends and family that, like, they wouldn't necessarily connect with so regularly, or just to be nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. We were talking yesterday with Louise Piper, and she was we were sort of saying how isolation is hard if you fight it, but if you accept isolation and you treat it as what you're saying, as an opportunity to either reconnect or to do something well, or to get some more time for yourself. A bit more silence, maybe. As you say, with the news, we live in such a busy world. It can very easily overwhelm us, and actually, being in isolation and letting that all still overwhelm you probably isn't particularly helpful. So that was great words there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us, Ellie. It's very kind of you to spare some time to speak to us, and we really do appreciate that. I think it would be foolish of me not to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you to yourself and all your colleagues for all that you do, whether in your vocation and the incredible amount that you and all your colleagues give up for people in England and Wales, and we do very much thank you. It means an incredible amount. Yeah, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say goodbye to Ellie there. But whether you found this video or this recording through YouTube or through the Well of Hope, please do continue to enjoy the other resources and videos that we've posted around. And if you haven't already been on the Well of Hope, please do check that out. Wonderful area of our website. If you are interested in the work of the St Vincent de Paul Society and in why we're doing these interviews, then please do take a look at our website. If you would like to make a donation to our work, and especially to donate to those who are being hit hard by COVID-19, then please do head across to our website. There's plenty of facilities there to provide you with information and support. If you're listening and you want help, if you're feeling lonely or you need food or whatever it is, please do not suffer in silence. Please get in touch with us. All the information that you need is on our website, so please do not suffer in silence. There's plenty of phone numbers and plenty of people out there willing to help, so please do get in touch. Know also that you are all in our thoughts and prayers, no matter what you do, and especially frontline workers such as Ellie here. But we would also ask that you pray for us. And of course for Ellie as well in the work that she does. So yes, we'll leave you there. We hope you have a very good day and you enjoy this video, and that we see you again in a future interview. Well, thank you very much. God bless. Bye.